Hello developers, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be creating the library screen, we'll be fetching all the playlists and displaying them there, and we'll also be adding this amazing good looking background pattern. So let's get started. So let's start with the library screen. So first of all, the first thing we'll do is we'll fetch the API. So we'll use the API kit that we made dot and make a get request, and it will point to a URL called me/playlist. And this will give us all the places that are available in our Spotify account. Okay, so if you go to response, and in the response we'll just log it for now. Response data, and we'll quickly import it. Okay. Now if we go to the website and go to our console, request playlist status code 401. Okay, so we'll have to quickly go to the application. In the local storage, we'll delete our token. Press the delete key to delete it. Then if we reload, it will ask us to sign in again. Alright, so now if you check and inspect this, in the console we are getting an object, and this object has items and it has all the playlists that are available. Okay, so we'll quickly create a state here called playlists. Playlist, comma, set playlist. This cell should be small. This will become use state and keep it null in the beginning, and import use state. Alright, so here what we'll do is, as you saw the response, it is coming under items. So we'll set it as set playlist response dot data dot items. Alright, so we can close this. Next thing what we'll do is we'll try and map this over here, right? So what we'll do is playlists, if it is present, then map over it. In the map we'll get in playlist, a single playlist, and inside that we'll return initially let's just return a div, and inside that we'll just write the name of the playlist for now. Just a second. Okay, so if we log this again and see what the actual data we are getting is, so this will be response data dot items. Okay, we're getting an error. Is this error? It's calling it again and again. Okay. Sorry, my bad. We should wrap this inside a use effect, or it will keep on re-rendering itself again and again. Inside this, we'll add our whole API kit and add a empty dependency array so that it's rendered only once. Use effect. Alright. Now if we go to one of the playlists, you'll see the name of the playlist is coming under the name tag. Okay, so we can simply add a playlist inside these playlist dot name. Right. It's continuously re-rendering. Let's see what is happening here. Restart. Refreshing. Go to the console again. Okay, now we're getting just one element. We want needing these. This will be a single return statement. Now if we save this, okay, you can see we're getting all the playlists that are available here. Okay, now we'll go ahead and style these components. To style this, let's first create a CSS file for this. It will be called library.css, and let's quickly import it here. One dot. Okay, so now let's first add it to give our library body a class. Okay, so we'll give this library body. We'll close this, pick it up and wrap the whole playlist inside this. Alright, so inside the library CS we will create library body and give it a width of 100%, a height of 100%, and a padding of 3% on all sides. So this is what it will look like. Okay, now the next thing we'll do is we'll give it a display flex to display all our playlist on side of each other. Okay, so this will be a flex, display flex. Now after this line is filled, we want this to come to the next line. So for that, we'll provide a property called flex wrap and set it to wrap. So if you see now, okay, something is wrong. This is going beyond. So what we'll do is we'll reduce the width to 94%. Then 94 plus 6 becomes 100. Okay, now this is fine, and the on my mind is coming to the next line. The next thing what we'll do is we'll also set the height to 94% so that, yeah, now it's fine. You can see it's not going below the screen. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll quickly add an overflow of y, so that whenever there are more playlists available, so it will automatically add a scroll to the screen, else it won't add a scroll. Next thing we'll do, justify content. And set it to space between, so that these are evenly spaced all across the screen. All right. Okay, so we can see that there is a scroll is being added to this. So the reason for that is because we have 3% on the top and we don't have enough screen for space for this. Okay, so what we'll do is we have a height of 94%. We'll remove this to 90%. All right, the scroll is gone now, and this is looking just fine. Next thing we'll do is we'll style these cards, individual cards for all the players. All right, so we'll go here inside the playlist body. We'll give our div a class name of playlist card. Save this with a library playlist card. So to the card we'll give a width of 15%, so that we have 6 cards in a row, and a height of 35%. A border radius We'll also add a border radius, which will be 20 pixels, and a background color to this. Alright, let's see. These are the cards, okay. 6 are in one row and the rest are at the bottom. Now let's add a little border to this. Border 1, so that we can see how it looks like, okay. So now let's give it a white border. Oh, sorry, my mistake. Okay, so this is what it looks like, all the cards. Next thing, we'll add a linear gradient to the background of this so that it looks a bit decent, and we'll remove the opacity of, reduce the opacity of these borders so that it looks a bit decent. So the color, we'll set it to this within 0.18 opacity. Now let's take a look. Okay, there's a very light color coming up, so this looks good. Next thing, we'll add a padding of 1% on all sides so that it's not this messy to look at. Alright, so it's coming a bit down now, and as you can see, there's no margin under these, so we'll quickly add a margin bottom of 2%. And since there's another playlist, as you can see, there's a scroll. Automatically a scroll is added. The next thing, we'll add a linear gradient to these. So to add the linear gradient, you can use this website called cssgradient.io. I'll paste the link in the description. Here you can easily create any gradient that you want with and you can simply copy the CSS available at the bottom. Okay, so I've already created it and copied it. So this is it. This is the background that I'll be using. Okay, now let's save it and see how our site looks. So this is the gradient that we provided. Okay, these looks like these are very decent looking cards. Now next thing, we'll add the image and the subtitle text for all these cards. Okay, so if you quickly go back to our index.js and see, we are consoling the output again. We'll go and see how we are getting the images. Okay, so inside the array, if you open one of the playlists, there is images, and inside that the 0th element has a URL for the image. Okay, so inside our div, we'll add this inside a p tag. Above this, we'll have an image tag, the source of which will have playlist.images, the 0th element, and that 0th element's URL will be the. Another thing it will have is playlist image, a class name, and an alt text that says playlist art. Alright, and after this, we'll create a subtitle that will have a playlist. Let's see how many songs it has. Where is it? If you can see, have description, href, id, tracks. Okay, so a total of 50 tracks. So what we'll do is, we'll go into the tracks and the total out of that. In the total, it will be playlist.tracks.total and songs. This will be the subtitle text. I'll go to our library.css, playlist image, and that's what it was. Let's go to the playlist image here. So our playlist image, what it will have is, it will simply have a width of 100%, and we'll add a border radius same as that of the card. The border radius will be 20 pixels. Okay, it's not taking up the, it's taking up the entire space. Let's see what is happening here. So we set the width to 100%. Okay, sorry, it will be playlist. Alright, so it's now taking, okay, the icon doesn't seem to be working fine. We can make it 15 pixel. Okay, now it looks fine. Alright, the next thing we'll do is we'll style these both and add a play button at the bottom. Another thing we can do is we can add a hover effect over this. Okay, so what we will do is we'll go here and inside our playlist card, on the playlist card, if we hover over it, we'll add a transform, and that would be scale to 1.02. So this is scaling now. And to make it look better, we'll add transition all, a time of 0.5 seconds, and ease. Alright, as now you can see it's fine. It's taking too much time, so we can make it 0.2 seconds. Yeah, now this looks good. Next we'll style the title and the subtitle text. Alright, so we'll quickly go here, give it a class name, playlist title, and this the class name, playlist subtitle. Right, let's go here, playlist title, playlist subtitle. Alright, so the font weight we'll set it to 8000, the max. The font size will be 16 pixels, and the color will keep it as this. Okay, this looks fine, but there's too much margin below this, so we'll quickly go add a margin. We'll keep it 10 pixels for the top and 0 pixel each for sides and bottoms. Okay, this is looking fine now. Now let's style the subtitle text. So for the subtitle text, we'll keep the font weight as 400. The font size would be obviously will be smaller, so it will be 12 pixels, and the margins will be 0 for all sides. Playlist subtitle, something is off. I'll quickly check. Playlist, okay, mistakes. We'll add a margin on the top, I guess, top and bottom of 10 pixels, or you can add a margin to the bottom of this only. Alright, this is looking fine. Let's add a color which is more visible on this. So we'll say color as this. Okay, this is looking great now. All the playlists are here. Now let's add a play icon on the sides. So we'll go to the index.js. After our subtitle, we'll create another div and add a fading effect to it. So we'll call this class name playlist fade. And inside this, we'll be adding our icons from the React Icons library. So I've copied it already. I'll just paste it. So it will be icon, and the size would be 50 pixels, and the color would be this. And we'll be importing AI fill play circle. Okay, so we'll quickly import them at the top so that there is no error. Can't resolve. Okay, so what's the issue here? It should be this only, I guess. 1 second, okay, sorry, it should be React icons and not icon. Okay, so we have got this. Now we'll have to quickly position it to the right position. Okay, so we'll go to the library.css and make playlist and the fade. So to this fade, first of all, we'll give it an opacity of 0, because initially it should be 0. Then a height of 84%. A width of 84%, my bad. And the height of 34%. A border radius of 20 pixels, same as the card. And we'll also give it a linear gradient. So I've copied it. You can create your own linear gradient. And on hovering over the playlist card, we'll also add playlist card hover, and on hovering playlist fade, so the opacity will turn it to 1. Now just quickly check it. Yeah, so we're getting this fade under it. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is we'll add a position absolute, so that we can add it over. Position will be absolute. A right of 0 and a bottom of 0. So now this is perfectly aligned with it. Alright, we can give it a width of 100%. Now it's taking the entire space. Now what we'll do is we'll make it a display of flex align items towards the end. Flex end. Okay, and justify items flex end. So now you can see the icon is taking it, going towards the end. We can bring it a bit up by adding a padding inside that. We'll add a padding of 8%. Now it is in the perfect place, right? Now you can see after adding the padding, it's going out. So you can simply go back and make it 8 to the 16 on both sides. So this will be 84%. Now it's perfectly inside it. All right. Now, as you can see, it's a bit of flicker. So this is maybe because we have not provided a key to the to each different element. So we can quickly go to the library body. Inside the playlist card div, we'll create a key is equal to playlist.id. All right, and we'll also add an on-click handler to go to the new screen. Okay, so this will be like this, and we'll create a function of playlist and send the playlist.id with it. So the function will look something like constant playlist equal to, and it will get an ID here. This ID will be used to fetch all the songs from the playlist and add it to the queue of the player. Okay, so this will look like. So to go to over to a new screen, what we use is, it's a library called use navigate from ReactJS. We create a constant called navigate is equal to use navigate. So this will be the instance of use navigate here, and to navigate we'll just write navigate. With it we'll add the path that we want to go, so we'll go to the player path, and after that we can add the state, which will take key value pairs, so we'll send id as id. All right, since we have added an on click event, so we'll add make the cursor to the pointer. So we'll go to player card, this was player card, and we'll simply add a cursor pointer. All right, so something has happened. Let's quickly check the, okay, I think the token is expired, so we'll go to the applications, go to the token, press delete, go again and refresh the page. Okay, you have them. Now you can see we have a pointer as they go, and for this fade, as you can see, this fade is coming like all of a sudden, so we can add a transition in this too. So we'll add transition of 0.5 seconds, and it should be ease. So now it's a bit decent than before. All right, if something is causing a flicker, I think okay, all right, it's because we have set the position absolute of the web but not set the position of relative to this card. So we'll go to the card here and set the position to relative, so that it's only added to the cards, nothing else. All right, this looks good now, and if you press on it, it goes to the player component. You can go back, look at all these. Okay, this image is causing a trouble, so what we can do is we can fix the size of these images. All right, so we'll quickly go and do that. Yes, everything is done. So what we want to do is we want to set the size in such a way that all the images are squares and nothing else. Okay, so we will stretch this image and we'll shrink this image. So to do that, we'll go to the CSS part, and inside the place image we'll set the aspect ratio. Aspect ratio is the ratio between height and width, so we'll set it to 1. It will simply make all the images as squares. Okay, another problem that we can see here is that this is getting out of the box, so we can clamp the size of the lines to 2 only, so that this is always visible and this becomes an ellipsis at the end. Okay, so to do that, we go to the side again, and inside the playlist title we'll set it as zone display to a WebKit box overflow. We'll hide the overflow to hidden, and text overflow will become an ellipsis. All right, now to clamp the line, we'll use a property called WebKit line clamp, and we'll set it 2. And another line clamp property for other browsers other than Chrome, we'll set it to 2 again. And we'll set the orientation of the box orient to vertical. Right, let's see if it works. Yeah, so now this is going into an ellipsis and all the text is inside the box only. Alright, this is fine. At last, to end this video, we'll quickly add a background pattern to this. So for getting absolutely amazing background patterns, you can use this website called CSS Backgrounds by Magic Patterns. Okay, so we'll be using this wavy background here. So you can set the background and front color. So as you can see, the back color I've set it to this, and the front color I've set it to this. I'll be pasting the links in the description, so worry not. Okay, so once we have created, I'll set the opacity and spacing to the max of it, and you can see how it looks like. This is how it will look like on our website. So you can simply copy the CSS code, go to our website, and inside the shared global styles, for all screens we'll be using this, we can paste this here. Okay, and once you save this, you can check it out. So this is how it looks like, but I want it that this should be coming in out of this player from the middle, so that it looks like it's creating a ripple all through our website. So what we can do is, as you can see here, we have circle at 0 and 0. So instead of 0, you can set it to center and left. So now it's rippling out from the center itself. Okay, and we can what I also do is, instead of 40 pixels, I'll make it 100 pixels. So this is how it looks like. So this is creating an effect kind of like this is rippling out from this player component. Okay, this looks good, and it is coming on all the screens now. So that's it for this video. In the next video, what we'll be doing is we'll be creating the player component, and once you press on a playlist, it goes here with an ID, and we'll be using that ID to fetch all the songs in the playlist and add it to the queue at the right. Okay, and then play them one by one. So stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching.